You are listening to the Fringe Radio Network. FringeRadioNetwork.com.
In only a few seconds, you will find yourself amid an insurgency of pre-recorded audio. What you will hear will be beyond a doubt proof that mankind has mastered the medium of sound. This is Earth Oddity, and these are your hosts, Christopher Teeny Sullivan and John Lang.
Welcome one and all to another episode of Earth Oddity Podcast. I am Tiny. Sitting here is my friend John Long.
Hello.
Together we are the bad boys of Southern Evangelical Comedy, the unauthorized, the uneducated, the unwanted voices of Southern Baptists across the nation.
It's good. I think uneducated is painfully accurate.
Yes.
You know? Painfully accurate. I often wonder what people around the country and the world think of when they...
The ones that listen.
Like, I'll listen back to it and I'll be like, man, I completely used the wrong word there. I completely mispronounced that word. And I just wonder what people think about it. So,
well, we are not professional. Well, it's not radio anyway. It's a podcast.
True, right.
But we are not professional broadcasters.
Yeah.
Or podcasters for that matter.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you go see Yo-Yo Ma play the cello. He might miss a note every once in a while.
Right.
Know? I mean, it just happens. So.
Yeah.
And he is a professional. So
there you go.
Yeah. How was your Christmas?
It was pretty decent. Yeah. How about yours?
It was a good Christmas. I'm glad it's over with.
Yeah.
It's a good Christmas.
I always look forward to December 26th because, and I'm sure you know how this is, but, you know, you got to travel all over the state, it seems like, even though it's just Tuscaloosa, it seems like we got to go everywhere,
right,
and visit everyone in the family, and we got to open presents, and then, you know, I feel like my wife is constantly trying to get all the time with the kids.
Oh yeah,
like her family, even though they don't see it that way,
right.
Like this past year, my mother-in-law was, she wasn't upset, but she was really wanting us to do lunch with her side of the family. Mm-hmm. Even though my dad had asked if we could do lunch, and we spent Christmas Eve, Christmas morning, and Christmas night again that night over at her place.
But you needed to hit that lunch.
Yes.
I got you. Yeah.
But that's how it is every year.
So Jared having kid, that has it like lessen the pressure on you to bring your kids over? You know, hey, we got a whole nother set of grandkids here we can love on.
No, it hasn't. And I will say that him being a son, he spends most of his time with her family.
Oh yeah.
And so that
makes it worse.
Well, that just makes my mother-in-law and my wife complain about Jared's mother-in-law and her getting all the time.
Oh man!
Even though they can't see that it's the same way for me as it is for Jared. They don't understand it.
Well, that's crazy. Deidre and I don't really have a big issue with all that, but we've worked all that out long ago.
Okay.
So, you know, it's usually Christmas is mostly my family because her family doesn't do a whole lot for Christmas.
Right.
And Thanksgiving we usually split between the two, but I can't imagine the pressure of having to pick between your wife's family and your family. That's tough.
It's a battle. It's a battle every year. Right. And I keep thinking maybe one day we'll grow as people and we'll work all this out.
Hadn't happened yet.
So,
well, that's all right.
Anyway, hey, this was actually going to be our 2019 year in review show.
Right. Yeah.
But we're going to mix in some news stories too.
Okay.
So it's going to be kind of a combination.
Yeah. A year in news story review episode. I like it. I got a couple of new ones to talk about that are pretty good.
Good, because I got a couple old ones to talk about.
It works out well then. It works out well. Who do you want to kick it off?
Well, this being...
I should have discussed this beforehand.
Probably should.
Let's just do it live. That's fine.
Well, you know what? 2020 being upon us, I would like to revisit our first show from 2019.
All right.
When we talked about the asparagomancer.
Oh, that's right.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. That's when we jinxed the football game.
There were predictions made for the year 2019, and I want to see if this crazy evil witchcraft actually works.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I do too, kind of.
Well, this is what we had to say. All right. Let's see if I can play this. But asparagus can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Rich source of nutrients and minerals and vitamins that the body needs. Mm-hmm. It can make your pee smell funny.
It does, yes.
It can teach your kid Bible verses.
That's right.
On VeggieTales.
Yes. Right. It's one of our saints.
And I don't know if you're aware of this, but apparently it can read the future.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that is amazing.
World's only asparagus fortune teller makes her 2019 predictions.
Okay. World's only.
Yes. Jemina Packington is the world's only asparagomancer. Great name.
That's heck on a business card.
That's pretty good marketing.
That's there. Right. Yes.
Asked what her veil of Evesham asparagus spears have said will happen this year, she said that the country does not have to worry about leaving the EU because Brexit fears will prove largely unfounded.
Okay.
She also said that a recession will begin in the United States after their trade war on China ends, but it will spread across the world. More famous British brands will collapse and England will have success at the 2019 Rugby World Cup.
Okay.
However, most importantly for vegetable lovers, Gemma said asparagus sales will hit an all-time high.
Ooh.
If you're looking to invest in some stocks, asparagus is hot right now.
Put everything I got into asparagus.
According to the asparagus stocks are going to be huge this year. All right, so there we go.
All right.
First prediction was that the first thing was UK is not going to leave the EU, which hasn't happened yet.
Hadn't happened yet.
Have you followed it at all?
Well, I know they elected a new guy, Boris, whatever his name is, crazy hair. And
yes.
he's very pro-Brexit.
Yeah, the media calls him British Donald Trump.
Okay.
I don't know if that's accurate, but
maybe so,
that's
but
what they call him.
I mean, I did see a video of him reciting the Iliad from memory in Greek.
Wow.
Which was very impressive.
It is impressive.
I don't even understand
know if that means you can lead a country, but that is impressive.
It's impressive. I don't think Donald Trump would be able to do that.
No,
but
I don't think so.
But yeah, they haven't left yet. So I guess you mark that one up as a win.
I guess so. I mean, because, they didn't. And they still plan to.
Yeah.
But they've really been dragging their feet. It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't understand. First of all, I don't understand British. I don't understand world. I don't even understand American politics, right?
Right.
But it seems like a couple years ago they voted like, "Hey, we're getting out of this thing," and for some reason it hadn't happened. I don't get why.
I mean, granted, I would imagine that kind of process is going to be extremely difficult and take a lot of time. You would think, because I mean, now you got to worry about before they didn't need passports.
Yeah.
Now you do. There's there's trade deals that have to be put in place and all this other stuff, but still, it was supposed to be done by now, and it still hasn't happened. So,
well, asparagus lady knew.
They were right about that one.
She 100% knew.
Recession in the United States, though,
hadn't really happened.
No, that one I think you have to chalk up as a loss.
That's right. Stock market's really doing great. You know, which I saw a funny thing on Facebook that was like, hey, when you're, it's right past Christmas and you're low on funds, and as you struggle to pay your rent and put gas in your car, just remember that the stock market's at an all-time high.
Right.
So, we hadn't really had a recession yet.
And also, in response to the whole trade war with China, that has definitely been simmering. It hasn't been the big bang catastrophe that it was supposed to be.
No.
But December 16th, the United States signed the Phase 1 trade deal with China.
Yes.
And I actually have that pulled up. I don't want to go into deep detail, but it is supposed to...
Does it eliminate shadow banking? I know shadow banking has been a big talking point. It just sounds cool.
China was going to cancel some retaliatory tariffs of 25% on U.S. goods, while the U.S. waived some 15% tariffs that they were going to put on some Chinese goods, although there is a 25% tariff on other Chinese goods that are going to remain in place.
Okay.
U.S. has a trade deficit with China of $419 billion.
Yeah.
Whereas China, they have spent roughly $186 billion on U.S. goods and services. They are supposed to increase spending another $200 billion to even that out.
Okay.
And then China is supposed to offer stronger intellectual property protections so that they
don't believe that one.
Well, that's what they say.
Of course.
So.
Yeah.
But again, also, this is just phase 1. So I think
phase 1
asparagus, I'm sorry. I think you got to chalk that one up as a loss.
Right.
Also, she said that the British team was going to have success in the 2019 Rugby World Championships.
Yeah. I don't think that happened.
They came in second, though.
Oh, okay.
They were the runner-up. So what do you... I mean, she didn't say they were going to win.
No.
But...
but is that really success? If you come in
Tuscaloosa, no.
Well, that's what I was going to say. When we came in second place, when this lady made us jinx the football game, the national championship game last year, we came in second place.
No one said that was successful.
No, it did not. Did not feel successful at all. So I don't know if I would give that one to her. But second place is better than fourth place or third place. So I guess it depends on your metric of success.
I'm looking it up right now.
No, is this rugby sevens or full rugby like 15s or whatever they call it? There's rugby's very hard to understand.
Yeah, this was the Rugby World Cup.
Okay.
And again, I don't know anything about it, but the host nation was Japan. The champion was South Africa. This was their third title, and England was the runner-up.
Wow.
So,
all right. How did the USA do? Do you have that?
It does. Well, third was New Zealand. And
New Zealand's pretty strong in rugby.
Does America, do we have a rugby team?
Oh, yeah, we got a rugby team.
I had no idea.
You don't support the red, white, and blue like I do.
Guess not.
If you put on a USA, I'm rooting for you in anything. It doesn't matter.
I'll root for you if I know that you exist.
I'm rooting everything. Olympics and stuff, I go crazy.
Do we have like a water? What's the water ballet?
Polo? Oh, synchronized
swim. Do we have that?
Heck yeah, we do.
How do we do in that?
I don't think very great, but we do. Have you tried to get a bunch of Americans to do something in unison at any point in time? You know, we got
I will say that our predominantly white church, we can't even clap in rhythm.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
It's horrible.
Which, I mean, this is completely off of the subject, but thanks for letting Eli have a candle and putting it on Facebook or whatever. Because Logan didn't get one, and he was already mad at me. And then when he saw that picture, it made it even worse. You know, just want to say thank you for that nice little candlelight service Christmas Eve gift you guys gave me. Dealing with a kid who's mad because he didn't get a candle, but it ain't my fault because a kid walked right by the table that said, "Please take a candle."
Right, right.
Hey, buddy, you gotta be able to read. You know, man. Then I may not want him to burn the church down, too.
Right,
or himself. Any other asparagus fortunes?
The last prediction was that asparagus sales would hit an all-time high.
Okay.
And I actually looked into that, and I found what was called the Asparagus Market 2019 Global Technology Development Growth Size Trends and Forecast to 2024.
Wow. Got to shrink that name down a little bit.
I thought ancient Near Eastern history studies were boring. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, but the asparagus market, not really a page turner.
Got nothing on this. I thumbed through it. I'm sorry, y'all. I tried. I did find a phone number here at the bottom. I don't know what'll happen, but we can try to dial it.
Sure, let's call it.
Hi, Absolute Reports.
Yes. We were trying to find out if asparagus sales in 2019 were at an all-time high.
That's something which will be covered in the report that you're looking at. And you can purchase that section if you just need that particular information.
Okay.
What section is it in?
What section is it in?
So that will be covered mostly in the focus, which might mean chapter 12 or chapter 13. I mean, do you have access to the table of content right now?
I don't right at this moment, no.
Okay, all right. Would you be able to send me an email? Because it's a holiday.
Holiday.
Okay, we're sorry.
Get access to my laptop. So you could.
Did you have a good holiday?
I'll give you my email address. Just send me.
All right.
Sorry?
Did you have a good holiday?
Yeah, but...
Okay, well, good.
Holiday over here.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
I'll send you my email. Or I'll
Huge asparagus fan, too.
All right, I'll give you my email address. You can send me an email.
Oh, yeah.
I'll, reply back to you.
Okay.
On the same.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Let me know when you're ready. I'll give you my email address.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready right now.
Perfect. So it starts with A as in alpha, J as in Juliet, then A as in Alpha again.
Did you say E or
Y
A?
as in Yankee, A as in Alpha.
Okay.
Okay, so it's Alpha, Juliet, Alpha, Yankee,
Mm-hmm.
dot, M as in Mike,
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
.com.
I got you. All right. Well, thank you so much. Sorry to disturb your holiday.
Always a pleasure.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, that's not a problem. Just do one thing.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Just send me that link that you're looking at right now, because we have more than 1 million reports. The link that you're looking at right now will point me to the exact report that you're looking at. So if you could just send me that link to that website that you're looking at right now,
Mm-hmm.
and your question, I'll reply back to it in the next 15 minutes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
As soon as I get there.
All right. Bye.
Always a pleasure. Thanks a lot. You have a nice day.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I didn't get that email address.
I didn't understand
even
half of
close.
what he was saying, other than he couldn't tell us what we needed to know.
I'm an uneducated
Yeah,
kid from Alabama.
right.
I don't get all that.
But apparently he's in charge of a lot of reports.
A lot of reports.
Yeah.
So-
a lot of reports.
I you know what his email is at the bottom of that report that I found. So
Okay, good. Maybe we'll just shoot him one.
I'll shoot him an email and apologize for disturbing his holiday.
I wonder wherever he is, I wonder what time of day it is. He's probably like,
I was honestly expecting an answering machine. I had no
Yeah, me
idea
too.
a real living human person was going to pick up on the other end of that call.
look, the asparagus people they want to be reached.
They're dedicated.
They're accessible, I mean, we're on a Saturday here, right?
Yeah.
Who's answering the phone this time of day on Saturday from a strange number? Yeah. Dude just picked it right on up.
So I guess asparagus sales in 2019 to be
Yeah. Jury's
TBD.
still out.
yeah.
Yeah. Jury's still out on it. We got to get our report from our friend we just made.
I guess telling the future through asparagus, not the worst thing,
No.
but probably not the best either.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she had a pretty good success rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how much of that was asparagus and how much of that was just her just,
lucky.
what do I think is going to happen?
Right. Yes. Maybe she needed to make a name for herself.
Maybe.
So let's go to current day for a story. All right.
All right, let's do it.
This is out of Florida, St. Petersburg, Florida,
Mm-hmm.
right? Police say a Florida man handed out marijuana because it was Christmas.
Okay.
So shout out to Todd, who sent me really two of the stories I got this week, which is maybe all I do. A Florida man was arrested Saturday after officers say he was handing out marijuana. Richard Spurrier, don't know if he's related to Steve Spurrier. Could be, though. Told officers he was giving out the pot because it was Christmas, according to an arrest report.
Okay.
Just want to say right now, really makes my gifts of like office desk accessories seem very lame compared to free marijuana. The report states a witness said Spurrier was handing out marijuana to people as they passed by in downtown St. Petersburg. An officer said Spurrier had marijuana shake, which is a small amount of pot, on his shirt sleeve. In his backpack, officers said they found 45 grams of marijuana and a prescription bottle with Spurrier's name on it. Officers also found a purple glass pipe and a digital scale, both with marijuana residue on them, according to the report. He was charged with possession of marijuana with intent to sell or distribute and possession of drug paraphernalia. So this Santa spent his Christmas in jail. But, I guess if you're wanting to spread good cheer on Christmas, passing out weed's not a bad way to do it.
Yeah, and maybe if you didn't get your kids any presents this year, you can tell them the reason why is because Santa was in jail.
Santa was in jail. He was handing out weed to everybody. I wish he would have been, like in his mugshot, it looks like his prison uniform on or whatever,
Right.
or at least an orange shirt, because you can just see his head.
Oh, man.
That looks like a dude that'd hand you some free weed, doesn't it?
You are not Santa.
Yeah,
You
right.
smell like beef and cheese. You don't smell like Santa.
But apparently, I mean, if you have 45 grams, that's a pretty good bit of weed, right?
That's,
So, like, what is 28 grams is an ounce?
Yeah.
So, yeah, a little short of 2 ounces.
Mhm.
That's a pretty good
that's
bit of
enough to
weed.
get several people high.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
Is it enough to hotbox the entire bar?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I feel like you just got to be a little more discreet if you're going to be handing out weed, though.
Right.
You know, you just can't be out here ho-ho-hoing and passing out baggies of weed. It just doesn't work that way.
Right.
You got to be like a handshake type deal. You know, like we pay our players at Alabama. You put a $100 bill in your hand, shake their hand, transfer the money, and move on, you know?
But this is absolutely the most wonderful time of year.
It sure is. I bet you.
It's not Halloween that gets you free drugs, apparently.
It's right. Christmas. Yeah. Yeah. Like if you were one of the lucky ones who actually got free weed, you know, it's a great Christmas for you. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, leave it to Florida to make Christmas even better.
All right. Well, what do you say we take a trip back in time?
Okay.
And revisit another story from last year. Do you remember Mac the Moose?
Mac the Moose. I do. I don't really, though, but I'm just saying I do for show continuity.
He was the one-time tallest moose statue in Moose Jaw, Canada.
That's right. Yeah, they had a moose off.
Until Norway decided they wanted to have the largest moose statue in the world. So anyway, here's that clip right here. Our next story here is the most Canadian story that we have ever talked about on this podcast.
Sorry.
So shout out to our Canadian listeners. I know there's a few of you.
I think we're the number one podcast in Canada. And from the research that I've seen.
And if we're not, we're fixing to be.
Yeah, right.
Our next story here. An egregious offense. Canada battles Norway for the tallest moose statue.
Okay.
And I just want all our Canadian listeners to know, no offense to Norway listeners, but we're rooting for y'all.
Yeah, come on. Bring it. Bring it.
After Norway's Storlingen stole...
Perfect.
They stole Mac the Moose's place as the world's tallest. Canadian city hopes to stick it to Oslo by increasing their statue's size.
Okay.
For 3 decades, the Canadian city of Moose Jaw took pride in its status as home of the world's largest moose statue.
Yeah.
But status and renown can be fleeting. In 2015, Norway responded with its own moose sculpture, Storlingen, or Big Elk. A glitzy stainless steel bull erected with the explicit aim of surpassing Mac's height and stealing his place in the record books.
Wow.
Now, however, Canadians are fighting back after 4 years after a pair of comedians called Norway's statue an egregious offense and pleaded with Moose Jaw residents to restore the city's stolen glory.
Nice.
You are a city famous around the world for the glorious name of Moose Jaw, Justin Reeves told residents in a video posted to Facebook, and everyone that comes by knows that this should be the world's tallest moose. Standing in front of a forlorn Mac, Reeves and colleague Greg Moore implored the residents to act quickly by adding 31 centimeters to Mac to stick it to Oslo.
Okay.
The city's mayor, Fraser Tolmie, answered the call to arms. You may not know this, but it's personal for me, he said in a Facebook video in which he divulged that the moose was named after his wife's great uncle. Mac the Moose was the tallest in the world, and the people of Norway have taken that from us. I'm not going to stand for it.
Wow.
The Norwegian moose, which stands midway between Oslo and Trondheim, measures a full 30 centimeters taller than Mac, and Store Evedal, the Norwegian municipality where it stands, has shown little appetite for backing away from the fight. We're not letting this one go, not a chance. We're going to do whatever we can to make sure this is the world's tallest moose, or biggest moose in the future as well, said Linda Heinrensen. Reeves and Moore have set up a GoFundMe page to help hire an engineer to increase Mac's size, hoping to raise $50,000.
Wow.
So far, proposals include increasing the size of his antlers and putting a helmet on top of him.
Helmet. I like that.
Okay, so
where are we standing on this rivalry?
Well, I did a little bit of Googling, and I came up with this news story. Moose Jaw unveils Mac's new rack, reclaiming the title of the world's tallest moose.
Right. So Mac's racks are really, I've seen that magazine behind the counter in a convenience store before. You know?
Yes. It says here that Mac the Moose, which, real quick, do you remember that episode? I think we recorded that episode in the sewer for some reason.
No, I think we were in the upstairs, not upper room studio, but the upper classroom studio. Yeah.
With tile floors and nothing on the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds
That's
like
right.
it.
Exactly. Sounds exactly like it.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Right.
Mac the Moose has had a boost and is once again the tallest in the land. Its new rack was officially unveiled in Moose Jaw on Thursday, October 9th.
Okay.
A crew of workers perched themselves high in a cherry picker and used ropes and a truck crane to carefully attach a new set of antlers on the roadside attraction in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan on Tuesday. The larger rack means that Mac is once again the tallest moose statue in the world. The city discovered in January that Mac was a bit too short for the accolade because a shiny silver sculpture in east central Norway had surpassed him by 30 centimeters. The revelation resulted in a plan to dethrone the rival by building Mac a bigger set of antlers. So, as of October of this past year, we can now say that Mac the Moose is once again the tallest. Long live Mac the Moose. You are an inspiration from Winnipeg to Miami,
That's
all
right.
across North America.
Yeah.
We have the tallest moose statue.
That's right. Get it back in this hemisphere.
Exactly.
Let's pull that trophy back on over here. Yeah. Take that, Norway.
Yeah, what are you going to do about now, Norway? Because originally they said, hey, our artist can double the size of our statue if we need him to.
Well,
what you going to do? Let's see what you got.
I mean, a lot of big talk. Let's see if you back it up. You know?
Yeah.
We'll get Mac the Moose as tall as we need to get it.
Moose Jaw, Moose Jaw, Moose Jaw.
Moose Jaw's a really cool name to be, like a town to be from, right?
Yeah.
That'd be cool to tell people you're from. Maybe I'll just start telling people that I was born in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
Home of the world's largest moose
That's right.
statue.
Home of the
Mac the
world's
Moose.
largest. Yep. Not the second. Number one.
The second is in Norway.
That's right. Yes. Yes. A related story note is Montgomery, Alabama has the tallest Confederate statue. So
They haven't torn that down yet.
I just made that up. I don't even know if that's true. I just made that up. That's pretty funny.
Yes. If it is, it won't be for much longer.
We,
Although, I don't know, that was all the rage in what, 2017,
yeah, that kind of
2016?
died down a little bit.
Yeah.
But Alabama did pass a law, like it was like the Historical Monument Preservation Act or
Right.
something that said it was a crime to deface or tear them down or whatever. So who knows what's going to happen?
We may not have been a podcast then, but I do know that somehow we managed not to have to talk about that on this podcast.
That's right. So let's just bring it up
Let's
right
just
now.
keep it going.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't care what you do with these statues. It doesn't bother me if you tear them down or leave them up in any
Right.
way. But yeah.
As long you better not be tearing down a statue of Nick Saban.
That's right. Yes. Yes. Or Mac the Moose.
That's what I say. I'll get out and I'll pick it for Nick Saban, Bear Bryant, and Mac the Moose. Those are the three statues that mean the most to me.
So you're just going to let them tump over Gene Stallings without even putting up a fight?
I'll get angry
that's
about
tough.
it, but
That's
I won't
tough
get
look right there.
But I won't get
Alabama.
out and hold a
What about Wallace
torch.
Wade? What about Wallace? You just going to let them dump Wallace Wade over too?
As long as they don't get near Bear Bryant.
A lot of people don't know Wallace Wade. He was our coach at Alabama for a while, won a couple of national championships way back when.
Way back.
The stadium that Duke plays football in is named Wallace Wade Stadium. When he left Alabama, he went to coach Duke. And he was such a good Duke basketball or Duke football coach that they named the stadium after him.
Yeah. And we have a statue.
And we have a statue of him. Right. And there's a street named after him too here, Wallace Wade Avenue. So, yeah, just, I mean.
Cool guy.
Yeah, definitely cool guy.
But he's not Mac the Moose.
No, nowhere near that. No. Yeah. All right. Back to present day.
Okay.
Back to present day. We have from the New York Post, an angry tortoise sets house on fire on Christmas Day. And look at the picture of this tortoise. Dude looks so guilty, doesn't he? Look at his face, you know?
He looks cartoonishly guilty.
Check the show notes so you can see that. An angry British tortoise managed to set his house on fire on Christmas Day and didn't look thrilled when firefighters extinguished the blaze and saved his shell, according to officials. So the reptile, who was 45 years old, by the way, and tortoises get real old, was home alone in Essex on Wednesday afternoon when he knocked over a heat lamp, setting his bedding alight The Essex County Fire and Rescue Service said, and a neighbor heard a smoke alarm and alerted authorities, and firefighters responded to find the one-room house ablaze and the rest of the property filled with smoke. Crews managed to extinguish the fire and found the surly, soot-covered tortoise inside, and the fire department shared an image on Facebook of the tortoise, who appeared to be giving some serious stink eye despite his lucky escape, which is the picture we were referring to.
Yes.
This 45-year-old tortoise might look angry, but it's his lucky day. After he set his bedding alight, his neighbor heard a smoke alarm and called us, the fire service wrote. Our on-call crews left their families to go extinguish the fire and gave him a very merry Christmas. Which, what if you're spending the Christmas holidays and you gotta go put out a fire for a turtle? A tortoise.
That's really a huge bummer.
That would be like, look, y'all, we're gonna let this one go. Like, my kids are playing with their toys and I'm out here saving a tortoise. Responding to the Facebook post, one person asked if the neighbor who raised the alarm was another tortoise, and the fire service responded, "Don't be silly, Sandra. It would take too long for a tortoise to get to the phone."
I love how they immediately knew who it was that was asking the question.
So anyways, tortoise sets fire in Essex, Britain, and almost burns down his house. Now, I am very woke on this and feel like the tortoise was trying to commit suicide.
Yeah.
They're not meant to be caged animals, right?
But you don't want to go by fire, do you?
I don't.
Is there not better? There's better ways to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Maybe not if you're a tortoise.
There's way better ways, but I don't know what all a tortoise can do.
Right. Right.
I don't know that it can get a pistol, or overdose.
Could it hang itself?
Possibly.
Or do they not need much oxygen, so it would take too long to do that?
I don't know how a tortoise can climb, high enough to do that. I don't know.
If there's any tortoise experts in the listening audience who know of a better way for a tortoise to commit suicide, I know that's kind of specific.
It is.
But if you could drop us an email and explain it to us, we'd love to know.
Hear from you. What is the best tortoise suicide method there is?
Yes.
I don't know.
I mean, if it can't climb, then I guess it's not jumping off a tall place.
Well, who knows? Let's say it goes to a parking garage and it has ramps, and it spends a year going up to the top or whatever, finds a little way in the side. It could jump off there, I guess, just walk off the side of the building.
Right.
Or it gets in an elevator or something, goes up. That could possibly.
But then what if it gets in its shell and then it's fine? Because it's like invincible in there.
That shell's pretty protective. I don't know. We caught a turtle one time and we painted its shell and just let it loose, in the woods. And I just think that thing probably got killed so fast because it was no longer camouflage. It had a big Grateful Dead emblem on the back of it.
You don't think he rose up and became chief?
Maybe
of
so.
the pond.
What if he did? That'd be amazing. Yeah. Shout out to my buddy Chris Cochran.
Yeah.
He knows what's up. Yeah. Anyways, if you have a tortoise, make sure you keep all flammable substances away from it. Mm-hmm. No open flames, anything like that, because we don't want our tortoise population to be able to hurt themselves and burn your house down.
We want them safely in their cages so we can stare at them.
Exactly. I love animals.
That's where we want
it
them
in a cage.
That's where we want them. John, do you remember the death of Jerry Cotton?
Jerry Cotton. Yes.
He was the CEO of Quadriga.
That's right.
Investments. It was a Bitcoin purchasing firm.
If we say death using air quotes, since people can't see us. Yeah.
He died with the passwords to all of his customers' accounts.
Yeah. And
no one could access them. Here's that clip. Crypto boss dies with passwords needed to unlock his customers' accounts.
So I assume he's an older guy.
No.
Oh yeah.
No, he wasn't. He was not an older guy.
If he was older, I would assume he would have had the password on a Post-it note, stuck to his computer monitor, like all the old people I know.
Gerald Cotton, 30-year-old founder.
Oh wow.
Of Quadriga CX. He died due to complications with Crohn's disease, according to Sky News.
I didn't even know you could die from that.
I didn't either. $190 million gone forever.
That's rough right there,
man.
So these are people who have bought this cryptocurrency.
Sky News reports that Cotton held sole responsibility for handling the funds and coins. About $190 million in cryptocurrency and traditional money is said to be in cold storage with the digital key held by Cotton. While Robertson has Cotton's laptop, she does not know its password. And even a security expert has been unable to get past the device's encryption. People have just, they've been complaining on Twitter, and it says that they did finally release a statement. It says that for the past weeks, we have worked extensively to address our liquidity issues, which include attempting to locate and secure our very significant cryptocurrency reserves held in cold wallets that are required to satisfy customer cryptocurrency balances on deposit, as well as sourcing a financial institution to accept the bank drafts that are to be transferred to us. The company added in its statement, unfortunately, these efforts have been unsuccessful. That was basically a lot of fancy words to say that this guy who had the key is dead,
right?
And he's not talking.
All right.
Well, there it is.
He's dead. Allegedly.
In December of 2019, I would like to say that officially he is still dead.
Yeah.
But Vanity Fair, and I will post a link to this in the show notes, but Vanity Fair did a piece on him in November of this year, and it was fascinating to find out that there's a little bit more to the story than just he died with the passwords. It goes very in depth, and it is an extremely long article. Again, it's a good read if you would like to read it. And also, they even have an audio file of someone else reading it if you just want to listen to it, like at work or whatever. So it's a 52-minute listen. But if I could just summarize it, and I'm summarizing it from memory here, there were 6 different agencies that looked into this, including the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the FBI, a Japanese agency, again, because these were international accounts, and then some others that aren't even mentioned. It just says that there were other agencies that looked into this too.
Yeah.
They have refused to comment, but some of their interviewees have expressed that some of the people in these agencies think he may not be dead.
Okay.
Because they asked in said interview, is he still alive? And aside from all these investigations that were launched at this guy's death, Jerry Cotton, there was also the internet. There are amateur, armchair sleuths on the internet that looked into this.
Sure.
And as far as Bitcoin goes, Bitcoin is anonymous, but as far as transactions, like this coin went from this wallet to this wallet to this wallet, like all that is public ledger. Anyone can look at that.
Yeah.
And they were able to show that these accounts are empty.
Imagine that.
So somebody had
knew how
access
get
to
into
it.
Right, yeah.
And also, this guy, Jerry Cotton, he joined a web forum when he was 15 years old called talkgold.com.
Okay.
Which talked about a lot of things, but one of the things that was talked about on the forum was how to run a Ponzi scheme, how to start your own Ponzi scheme, how to get out before it's too late.
Imagine that.
And in his early 20s, he ran some Ponzi schemes of his own. One of his founders was a guy whose last name was Patton, and he was the same way. He was a bit of a, I think they're called high-up funds or whatever, that basically Ponzi schemes. Mm-hmm. He helped him found Quadriga, and even though on the outside Quadriga, what am I trying to say? It was a very respectable face. Right. It was very legitimate.
Yeah.
But before he ran Quadriga, they had a firm called Midas, where, again, it was you would buy and sell Bitcoins, you would invest in Bitcoins, and then they would transfer Bitcoins into currency, into cash for people. And it was used by a lot of people for money laundering by a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I guess basically just because of this dude's sketchy past, and he don't have much of a past because he was in his early 30s when he died. But he died supposedly.
Allegedly.
He died allegedly on his honeymoon in Thailand.
That'll happen.
His fiance, or I guess you can now say wife because he was on his honeymoon. His wife brought his body back. There was a funeral and there's a body buried. Mm-hmm. Law enforcement has so far refused to exhume the body and test it.
Right.
For, do DNA analysis.
Right.
So that begs the question, is that because they know he's dead, or is that because him being alive would create more problems than him just remaining dead?
Yeah. Right. Well, and, a government who has its own currency may not be too worried about investigating somebody who ripped someone off on like a unchecked, unfettered internet currency like Bitcoin, right?
Right.
Just not the same level of investment from the government's part. You know, if this guy had counterfeited $190 million or whatever,
Then we'd be after him.
then we would not rest until he was put in jail, right?
But since he stole a bunch of poor schlups on the internet
Yeah.
Bitcoin,
Right. You got a bunch of anime nerds money or whatever. and they're not too worried about it.
Right.
You know? Like, sorry,
maybe.
you can't buy your full body hentai fella or whatever, off the dark web. But we're not too worried about that.
sorry, Dread Pirate Roberts.
we have real crimes to investigate. Well, I'm in the camp. I believe, as I've been since we originally aired, this dude's 100% alive.
Yeah.
It's just 100%, because you do not have that amount of money with not a way for someone else to have access to it.
Oh, also, it was pointed out in this piece that 4 days before he left on his honeymoon, he wrote a will.
Ah.
He wrote money to be left for the care of his fiance's 2 chihuahuas.
Okay.
He left some money to charity. He left some money to this person and that person. No mention whatsoever in the entire will about access to the wallets with all these customers' accounts.
Right.
So,
Well, I feel like
and they're empty now. So,
if you get his fiance / wife in a room with her 2 chihuahuas and start threatening those chihuahuas, she's going to give up where he is,
unless you for real don't know,
Yeah, but
maybe he was cutting out on her too. I don't know.
How does she not know, though?
Well, I mean, she has.
Or maybe he was like, look, let's pretend to get married. I'm going to give you whatever, like $5 million.
Right.
You pretend to be my wife. I got a body you're going to have to bring back and bury. And that's all part of this. And she was like, all right, I'm in,
Uh-huh.
Which I would do that. I would marry a man and bury a fake dead body for $5 million.
Well, and we also talked about this before we started recording, that I feel like it's easier to just disappear
Yeah.
than to actually fake your death where there's a body there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You go overboard out in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
That's what you got to have happen. If
So
you're faking your death.
This really is an interesting story, and I don't know what to believe.
Yeah.
Except that he is supposedly dead, and all that money is not where it's supposed to be, even though it's supposed to be inaccessible.
Let's look at it this way. What if his wife or whatever, classic Samson and Delilah case.
What if she had him killed?
She got the password out of him, and then, oops, he's dead.
And I don't know the password.
And I don't know the password. He was the only one who has it.
And here's his laptop. Can you get into his laptop?
Right.
Can you find it? Oh, you can't? Oh, darn.
Oh, that's crazy. Wow. I don't know why my chihuahuas have golden sweaters on, and all that stuff.
It did say that his fiance, and I think she was one of the co-founders of Quadriga, as well as 2 others, and they were all tech savvy. So I don't know.
I mean, that's a classic. We're killing the guy who helped us rob the bank, so we got more of the cut.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a detective.
Where is she living now? Is she on a private island somewhere?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. And I'm not Bitcoin savvy at all.
No.
But how do you convert Bitcoin back to regular fiat currency or whatever?
You have to convince somebody to trade with you.
Okay.
That's how it happens.
You're like, hey, I'm putting this up for sale in the open market for whatever, $1,000 for 1/10.
Like, you've got a Bitcoin.
1%.
You're like, hey, Tiny, you want my Bitcoin? And I'm like, well, how much you selling it for?
Yeah.
And you're like, well, it's worth this. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to pay that. Well,
Right.
I'll sell it to you for this.
Yeah.
Boom. I give you the cash. You transfer the
we're
Bitcoin,
done.
and then we're
Right.
done. Yeah.
Well, not a bad plan.
Yeah.
I just want to use this opportunity right now to pitch our currency, Oddcoin, that Tiny and I are dabbling in.
Yes.
Of course, we both know the password, so you're completely safe.
Even if one of us dies.
Even if one of us dies. What if we both die together? Like we just disappear. Like that, we've already given our whole plan on the podcast. Like, 2 podcasters to go overboard at sea, and never to be seen again.
And then 2 months later, my wife inexplicably has a $500 Walmart gift card.
We're living like in Jasper or somewhere. Nobody can find us.
We are living in the most expensive decked out mobile home you can get in Jasper, Alabama.
Like,
It's a
strangely
triple
enough,
wide.
Yeah, strangely enough, podcast episodes keep getting published once a week.
Yes.
Well, I mean, that dude's 100% alive. I feel like everybody listening to this knows he's alive.
Yeah.
And he just took that money, which is, I mean, good for him.
Yeah.
You bilked a bunch of nerds out of their Bitcoin. And I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Sorry for all the people out there that can't buy their Star Wars action figures and everything that they were going to buy. Drugs and babies and everything else you can get on the dark web, too. I have a really short thing here, and this is really more for my pleasure than anyone else's pleasure.
That's what she said.
Well, that's pretty much describes my love life, okay? Yeah, pretty much describes my love life. So Lamar Jackson, do you know Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
Quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens, really setting the world on fire this year. Nobody can handle this dude. He is like, he's playing at a level unseen before out of a quarterback. He's had more rushing yards than anybody. He's had a really great year passing the ball. Excellent guy. Played college at Louisville, won the Heisman Trophy, and then went pro so he wouldn't have to play Alabama the first game of his senior season, and get destroyed. But other than that, he's a really great guy. Super great guy. Well, he bought all of his offensive linemen a Rolex as
nice.
Right. Yes. For all of them. And that really triggered this lady in Baltimore who wrote into the Baltimore Sun with the absolute hottest sports take of the year. And a very short letter here, but it says, the holiday season was in full swing with high hopes for the Ravens when I read that Lamar Jackson gifted Rolexes to his offensive line. So disappointing that in an age where professional athletes are making an insane amount of money he could have donated to charity and done it in the name of his offensive line, then treated his teammates to dinner. Those players can all afford their own Rolexes, so it is very discouraging that someone didn't give him a little guidance. It just flaunts the amount of money they make and don't know what to do with. Sorry, Lamar, I'm not such a big fan now. From Karen Price. So
Thanks, Karen.
Which, by the way, it dawned on me, Karen Price, really, if you just listen to it, means I care a lot about the price of things, right? You know?
Yes.
What she failed to mention is that because I like sports and that's about the only news I keep up with. Is when Lamar was drafted, he gave like $35,000 to charity before he even played a first snap of football, and that was back when people didn't even think he was going to be good. You know, gave away a large chunk of money, and he's got a foundation because all athletes have a foundation and. Does a lot of charitable work. I just can't see getting so mad about a guy giving people Rolexes. It's like, that would be like me giving you a $20 Walmart card, right?
Right.
You know,
and then somebody else pipes up and said, hey, that's $20 that you could have given to SD Allen to buy another bed.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. And so you're like, well, these people that's just their income level. They can give a Rolex, and it's like me giving $20 to you as for a Christmas present or whatever.
It would be nice if every single human on the planet used their money to help others.
Absolutely.
We might actually see a utopia.
Yeah, right.
But it's not the way the world works, unfortunately.
Here's the thing is I think Lamar Jackson is using a lot of his money to help other people.
He is,
and he just decided to give his offensive lineman a gift of a Rolex. Probably, I didn't see which Rolex it was, but probably a couple $1,000 a piece, maybe $5,000. They weren't Daytonas or anything.
Right.
So it wasn't like he went really crazy and spent a lot of money on them. So, I just feel like, that this lady is just like righteous indignation is so misplaced. And I thought it was extremely funny to me that she would be that mad about it.
Right.
Having said all that, I would never buy you a Rolex, Tiny, because I would buy myself one first. And I don't have enough money to buy two of them. So.
I bought John a Folex one year.
And the Instagram page, Profits and Watches, I can't remember who showed me that. It's basically preacher's sneakers for preachers with watches.
For watches, yeah.
Really golden, too, by the way. You just look at those guys and you're like, wow. And that's a little different than a football player wearing a Rolex to me. Right. I just want to say it. Maybe it shouldn't be that way, but it is.
Well, and I was going to say, let's just... For the sake of argument, let's say that Lamar Jackson didn't give any money to charity and all he did was buy Rolexes.
Yeah.
Let's say he bought a whole bunch of Rolexes for himself and
Right.
nobody else.
Yeah.
That's his money.
Absolutely.
And he has the right to do with it what he will.
I agree with that too.
Yeah. So
Yeah. But, I don't feel like it was that bad of a move, especially when you're already giving money away to people. Anyways, and he seems like a really excellent dude. Like, I would hang out with him. He seems really funny, very humble,
yeah.
to be as good as he is. If I was as good as he is, y'all would never get me to shut up about how much better I am than everybody else.
Right.
I mean, I would just be throwing it in your face all the time.
And
He's
Jesus
not
would be like, well, he got his reward.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. So anyways, just to everybody out there, if you have extra money, you might want to think about donating to charity, give it to somebody.
Or you can buy me and John a Rolex.
Yes. Or
Choice is yours.
we will take a Rolex,
Because we're talking about choice here, and it's
Yeah.
your choice.
Right. Yes. I would like, I'm really more of an Omega guy when it comes to watches. So if you want to give me an Omega, that's fine.
If I'm being honest, when it comes to telling time, I just look at my phone.
Oh, I'm a big watch guy. See?
Yeah, you are a watch guy.
I like watches. I think they're really awesome. I'm wearing a Citizens today, just so everybody knows. I'm not crazy or anything.
When they have a watch that's got like a built-in grappling hook and or a flamethrower, that's when I will invest in a watch.
All of my, every one of the kids in my house got a watch for Christmas too.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. Thomas got the watch I was wearing, the Citizen that I was wearing, because he really liked it. So I just put it in a box, wrapped it up, gave it to him, and bought me a new one.
Yeah. And Thomas also, he probably just tells the time on his Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, true. Yes, he did get a Nintendo Switch, which he thought he wasn't going to get, and he acted like a big baby all week long, but finally got it. And then I got to make fun of him all day on Christmas about acting like a baby over a video game.
Well, John, would you prefer an update on the Flat Earth International Conference or on the Loch Ness Monster?
Flat Earth.
I knew you would say that,
Yeah.
and I'm glad you did.
anti-Loch Ness. Everybody knows that. Anti-Loch Ness Monster.
I'm glad you
It's
said
the
that.
fakest thing of all.
Okay, we had a story last year about the Flat Earth International Conference. This is a conference that gets together every year, and they announced, they hadn't released any details, but they had announced that they were going to take a cruise to Antarctica to prove that the ice wall is real.
Yeah.
And that the Earth is really a disc shape.
Yeah.
And here's the clip.
You're in luck. All right. So flat earthers are offering a cruise, and that's going to sail to the Antarctica ice wall.
They're doing it.
Yeah. At the
All
planet's
right.
edge. Yes. That's right. So organizers of an annual conference that brings together people who believe that the earth is flat. Everybody knows the earth's flat. It's just standard. Everybody knows it. Are planning a cruise to the purported edge of the planet. They're looking for the ice wall that holds back the oceans. The journey will take place in 2020, and the Flat Earth International Conference, FEIC, recently announced on its website the goal is to test so-called flat Earth's assertion that the Earth is a flattened disk surrounded at the edge by a towering wall of ice. So time out, just so everybody, all you globe heads out there who don't know, flat earthers contend that the earth is flat naturally, and that the Antarctica you see on the globe is actually a wall of ice that rings the outside of the flat earth.
Right.
So it's like a frisbee, basically.
And the North Pole is the very center of the frisbee.
Right. Yes. Yes. So details about the event, including the dates, are forthcoming, according to the Flat Earth FEIC, which calls the cruise the biggest, boldest adventure yet.
That was a really great clip. That was a really great clip. You know what? I didn't even remember us being that funny talking about it. That was really great.
Well, when I was doing some Googling and trying to follow up on this story, I couldn't find, I'm not saying it's not out there. I'm saying I could not find any information about the cruise.
Right.
But I did find this important announcement on the guy's website.
Okay.
He says the flat earth revelation is nothing short of profound. Flat earth changed everything. In 2015, I started my YouTube channel, Celebrate Truth, in order to promote God's own testimony concerning his creation. And by 2017, I put on the very first Flat Earth International Conference in the world. The following year, FEIC made another first when arriving in Canada. Denver and Dallas successfully followed. Now, He goes on, but I'm going to skip down to here. Many were asking where FEIC will be held in 2020. Leading up to this year's event, I had already considered Dallas to quite possibly be my final conference. And of October of 2019, those suspicions were confirmed. Indeed, the 4th Flat Earth International Conference in Dallas will be my last. At present, I'm looking for a company, organization, or individual to acquire all assets such as branding, logos, domains, website software, merchandise, etc. If you believe you have what it takes to carry the vision forward, please contact me and let's discuss the possibilities. Administering the Flat Earth International Conference is a calling.
Oh, a calling.
In short, I am passing the torch. This chapter of my life is coming to a close. Though I will always hold the flat earth to my personal convictions, I do not foresee it becoming a primary focus in business or ministry in the immediate future. Thanks again for all your support and love over the last few years. It always brought such joy to my wife and me to hear and see what FEIC did for the community and individuals, and I look forward to seeing who will carry FEIC into the future. I will miss everyone, but this is not goodbye. It was such an incredible ride I'll never forget. Blessings, Robbie Davidson, FEIC founder.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's going to be a cruiser or not, but it looks like the guy who does these conferences is trying to pass the torch on to someone else. We actually know someone.
Well, I've got the perfect guy for it. Can we submit nominations?
You know, I actually did email this guy and asked him if the cruise was still on. He hasn't emailed me back yet.
Oh, he's overwhelmed.
Maybe.
You know? That's what it sounds like. It's
Hold on, let me refresh my inbox.
Okay. It's
nope.
an undertaking
Still no.
To be the leader in the flat earth community.
Right.
But I would think that if they don't have the prices for tickets or whatever on the Flat Earth website, then the cruise is off.
Well, all they ever said was this is sometime in 2020.
Yeah.
So I suppose someone who's willing to hit the ground running maybe could throw something together.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But
you're going to have to find a cruise ship that's going to be willing to go to Antarctica. That seems tough.
Right.
Right. And it would,
unless you're trying to stop whaling vessels.
I guess so. Yeah. And I would think you would have to leave out of a port in like Argentina or something like that to get down there. So you're going to have to fly to Argentina or whatever so it seems to be a very expensive endeavor. Now, for our flat earth friends, it seems like that would be a worthwhile thing to spend your money on to prove all of the globe heads wrong.
Right.
You know, I mean, drop a few $1,000s and go on your cruise. Let's get it going. I'm ready to see what happens.
But here's my question. And again, this is just a hypothetical, but let's say you get on that cruise ship and you go down to Antarctica and you see Antarctica. Let's say you sail all the way around Antarctica. Did you see Antarctica or does that just prove to you that there's an ice wall? You see what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I was thinking. How do you know that you sailed all the way around Antarctica would be because you can
look at GPS and you can be like, oh, okay, we sailed around it, but you don't believe in GPS,
or
right?
say NASA's running GPS. Thing to do would be like to get out and spray paint a big X on the Antarctica or ice wall, whatever you think. And if you come back around to that X, then you know, hey, we made it. We're sorry, we're wrong, or whatever.
But did you but still, does that just mean you sailed around the world?
I don't know.
And came back around to that X? Or did you sail around Antarctica? I mean,
don't know.
I don't know how big Antarctica is, but I think it would take
a continent. So
it would take a while to sail around it, right?
I would think so, yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? Does that just mean you sailed around the disc Earth, or does that mean you sailed around Antarctica?
I don't know. I mean, no offense to any of our listeners who are big flat earthers, you know, but you guys are hard to discuss anything with.
Because the only way, to me, as a globe head, as a globe tard, is what y'all like to call us.
Whatever, yeah.
Speaking as a globe tard, it would seem to me the easiest way to prove the Earth is round is to just go up in a spaceship and take a picture, which has happened.
Yeah.
But when you look at those pictures, they're either fakes or it's because there's a fisheye lens on the camera.
Right. Yeah.
So if you can't argue with that, I don't know how to argue anymore.
My thing would be, and I've had this idea, and I'm sure somebody could do it if they haven't done it, is strap you 4 or 5 cell phones to a weather balloon and just set that bad boy off, press record on them and stream it to your cloud. And then at some point it's going to reach an altitude where you can see if there's a curvature to the Earth or not. Mm-hmm. Seems very simple. very cheap thing to do.
But then again, I'm trying not to speak for the flat Earth community, but I feel like they would just come back and say, well, those cameras have fisheye lenses.
Yeah, but do they?
Well, that's what they say. I don't even know what that is. I just hear that term all the time.
True.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know either. I will say, I want to just go on record right now. I 100,000% do not care if we live on a globe or a saucer of plate or whatever. Right. I don't care at all. It doesn't bother me at all. I just want somebody to shut up about it. Really, is what it all comes down to.
Because I still got to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it has no bearing on my life. You know, right. I don't like the hard line. The people who are like, "Well, the Bible definitely says the Earth is flat."
Because it definitely don't.
Yeah, if you don't believe that, then you don't believe everything else in the Bible. You know, and those people right there really bother me.
Yes.
So somebody just
those are the
problem.
Those are the people who need to shut up.
Yeah. Get whatever camera with whatever lenses you need, strap it on a weather balloon, and send that bad boy up in the air.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems very, very simple.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know of another way that we could do it more cost effectively.
Right.
But whatever. I mean,
but you can't argue, you know, because every time you throw out something, they're just like, well, that's
fake.
That's
Yeah,
fake.
It's fake. It's
fake.
all fake.
Yes.
Everything you know is fake. It is all confirmation bias and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just tired of it.
And
just prove to me that it's flat. I want tangible proof. I don't want you to talk about boats disappearing over the horizon, bridges that don't have the recommend or the drop that it's supposed to have, all that crazy math stuff, which if you look into it, I'm not a math expert. Some of your math's pretty fishy on all that. I should say that. All right. But, just prove it to me. Seems to be something that we could handle in a day or two.
And everything you say, I'm just going to be like, fake.
Yeah, right. It's all fake. How do I know your cameras aren't doctored?
see how you like it.
You got a flat eye lens on there. You know? like, I don't understand. It seems like we could figure this out.
Right.
Seems like we figured it out a long time ago.
Way before space rockets.
Yeah, way before space
Way before
rockets.
Tiny would have been able to figure it out.
By measuring shadows and everything else. But, I guess all that's wrong.
Right.
And our entire physical laws of our physical universe would be proven wrong too, which is really kind of crazy to think about.
And I would just personally like to come out and say that I would actually like it if the flat Earth people were proved right.
Yeah.
That would blow my mind.
It would be
I
awesome.
think that would be pretty cool. I really do. I honestly do.
Yeah.
But because of, and again, I'm not a scientist. I haven't done all this stuff, but I do trust the work of others.
Right.
And peer-reviewed, scientific journals and all this other stuff.
Right.
That the Earth is round. I do know that there are some people who believe the Earth is round, as I do, who will get really mean and really nasty online and like call the flat Earth people names. And I don't think that's good either.
No. No. Well, think about this, Tiny. I'm sure this has happened to you. Imagine like you told your wife y'all had something you needed to do on the 22nd of January, right? Mm-hmm. Well, it comes around like the 20th of January and you're like, hey, Tara, remember we got this thing to do on the 22nd. And she's like, well, you never told me that, right? Mm-hmm. But you know you did, right? Mm-hmm. You're 100% certain you did. You know, without a shadow of a doubt, you were right in this. And you're able to like find documentation that shows, like maybe you send her a text message, you scroll back months and you find that text message. You're like, boom, right here. I showed you and you're right, and she's wrong. No better feeling than that in the world, right?
Right.
No better feeling than that. Flat earthers, like I would want to be able to have that feeling if I was a flat earther more than anything in the world. And I wouldn't stop and I wouldn't use like steam powered rockets. I wouldn't use a cruise ship. I would do the most simplest way I could figure out to show, which to me is send some cameras up in a weather balloon. I'm keeping on saying that because I want somebody to do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Seems to be not a hard thing to do.
I will say that, the moon landing kind of factors into this because if we went to the moon, then that means all the, well, I was going to say that means all the pictures of the Earth, round Earth is real, right?
Right.
And
now forget the fact that we can look through a telescope from Earth and tell that other celestial bodies are round. And if you were a Christian, you believe that God designed all of it. I don't know why he would make us flat and everyone else round, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember that, and I don't know which Apollo mission it was, but one of the Apollo missions, because I've heard from a lot of the fake moon landing people say, well, how come we ain't been back? The truth is we have. We've been back 6 times.
Yeah, right.
But, one of those times they put a mirror up there and they say that you can,
you can shoot a laser off of it.
bounce a laser off of it.
Absolutely.
So somebody went up there.
Yeah.
Unless maybe it's, well, what if it's a natural laser?
Well, what you don't know is lasers.
Or the aliens put there.
How lasers work on the flat Earth. That's not what you don't understand that, right?
You're right.
So here, flat Earth people, prove me wrong. That's all I want you to do, and that's fine. Prove everybody wrong.
Right.
That would be amazing. Do you know? I would never ever shut up about how right I was. To everybody in the world.
Yeah.
I'd be the best feeling. The best feeling. So just prove it. And I would like to nominate our friend, the third eagle of the apocalypse, to take over the Flat Earth Society.
I know a lady in our Sunday school class who every time he talks about Flat Earth, which he don't talk about it a lot anymore, makes her furious.
Oh, for real? I didn't know it made her furious. Oh, wow.
Which I think is hilarious.
I want to know who that is. I want to know who gets mad about it.
I'll tell you later.
Okay. All right.
But that's what I was talking about when I was talking about, there's no point getting mad about it.
No, really, there's not. I mean, to me, it doesn't affect me one way or the other.
Right.
Because I'm going to live my life exactly like I'm living it today if the earth is flat. Not going to bother me at all.
All right. We need to move on. But just real quick, we did talk about a Loch Ness monster story.
True.
And there was a scientist who did all this DNA analysis and said, maybe it's true.
Of course.
He came out and said eels. There's a lot of eel DNA in Lake Loch Ness.
Yeah, Loch Ness.
Maybe it's a big eel.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of garbage too. But
maybe
it's every bit as boring an explanation as we predicted it would be.
I just want to say I'm right. I've been saying for forever Loch Ness is wrong. Like, that's a hoax, right?
I've never said I think it's real, but what I have said, and I still say today, is I wish it was. I wish there was a sea monster in Loch Ness.
There's not a sea monster.
No, but I wish there was.
Right.
Oh, it would be so cool.
But it's 100% not a sea monster.
Have you ever seen episode 2 of Gravity Falls where they were trying to find
I know I've seen
gobble
it, but I don't
wonker
remember
or whatever?
Yeah.
It was a sea monster.
Okay. Yeah, I know I've seen it, but I don't remember it.
Anyway.
We want to thank our sponsor, world famous Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice, for their support. Check them out at CajunCurl.com. We're on the website there. You can order their spice and their Cajun Curl cutter for potatoes, all on CajunCurl.com. It was created on the Elm Bayou in Evangeline Parish, Louisiana, and it's a seasoning that goes on everything. If you like cooking or eating, this is a spice for you. Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice goes well with chicken, beef, pork, potatoes, Loch Ness monsters, and anything else you can think of putting it on. The spiral potato cutter is absolutely amazing. It's easy to use, it's easy to clean, and it will allow you to make your own chips using the Cajun Curl spice. If you want your next cookout or flat earth cruise to be amazing, whip up a batch of homemade potato chips. The next flat earther in the cabin next to you on the cruise is not going to be doing anything like that, and he's going to be so jealous of how popular you are. On their website, CajunCurl.com, you can not only order the Bayou Blended Spice and the chip cutter, but you'll also find recipes that are absolutely mind-blowing. And just shout out to the Cajun Curl Facebook group. You might want to join that too, because there's some pretty amazing stuff that gets posted in there.
Yeah.
Like the French onion soup that the guy made with the Cajun Curl cutter. You can locate your nearest retailer on the website or order your own. If your local grocer doesn't carry world famous Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice, ask them to start stocking it now. It's available here locally where we are in the greater Tuscaloosa Northport Metroplex at Vowels Fresh Market on Skyland Boulevard, South's Finest Meats, Mark Smart in downtown Northport, and Piggly Wiggly in Northport. All of their products are made in the USA, so not only do you enjoy the taste of Cajun Curl, but you also feel patriotic while you enjoy your meal. It's all natural, it's low salt, it has a little kick to it, but it doesn't burn your lips. World famous Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice. Taste the spice, but not the heat. CajunCurl.com. Check them out and use the promo code EOP10 to get a 10% discount.
Because we ask that you use the spice, but we don't ask you pay full price.
That's right.
All right, John, I believe you told me we had a Instagram review or something like that.
Yes, we got a review that came in on Instagram.
Just in the nick of time, too, because we're a little light on the reviews this time of year.
Okay. Well, this is from Stan Wright, 1975. Stan is from our hometown. Excellent human being. Good guy. Known him pretty much my whole life. And he sent us in a review. 5 stars, by the way, just so everybody knows. This is standard we expect you to review us at.
Just like Stevens. 5 stars.
That's right. Since I became sick, needing a liver transplant due to a rare blood disorder.
Bummer.
Yeah, it is a bummer, but he's on the upswing now. Man.
Okay, good.
I found myself with tons of free time. I have listened to several podcasts, but I have since listened to the ones in the past. I enjoy the witty banter and the stories that y'all bring up. I'm left wanting more. I hope that this podcast catches fire. Full disclosure, I've always thought John was pretty cool back in the day. Trombone players are cooler.
John Long is pretty cool, so.
Yeah. And trombone players are cooler. That's science. You can't argue that. Okay?
Especially if you refer to your instrument as a tromboner. I mean, that just, nobody will not laugh at that joke.
Yeah. I feel like, if you play the trombone, you can call yourself a tromboner. Really, like I'm a tromboner.
Yes.
Pretty good. Not to be confused with a Trump boner. Completely different thing. That's a completely different. Those people
we have
really
a lot of those down here too.
They're really into politics. Yeah. But I want to say thanks to Stan, and I don't want to take credit for his recovery with the podcast, but I feel like maybe we had something to do with it. All right.
They say laughter is the best medicine.
That's right. Yes. But Stan's an excellent person. His whole family's great and good people. And I think at one time, Deidre and his wife worked together. I don't know if they still do. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's a small world, of course.
Yeah.
Being around here and all being from Fayette is great. And so I just want to thank Stan and wish him a continued, speedy recovery from, having to get a liver transplant and everything, which not easy. I can't imagine, I can't imagine at all that would be easy. So, but shout out to Stan. Shout out to all the losers who haven't left us a review. And
hey, New Year's resolution.
That's right.
2020 is upon us.
Yeah. I mean, you Stan here, recovering from a liver transplant, was able to leave us a review.
What have you done for us?
Right. All you normal, healthy people out there.
How dare you?
Yeah. What is your problem? Oh, but I appreciate Stan, and I appreciate his friendship over all the years. Yeah. Good guy.
Well, do you have any final thoughts about 2019 or any predictions about what 2020 may hold?
No, 2019's been an excellent year for me. I don't have any complaints.
I've seen a lot of complaining on Facebook about 2019.
Yeah.
But I think that's just because people like to complain.
Yeah. People are whiners and complainers.
Yes.
And those people are the worst. If you're listening to this and you're a whiner or a complainer, well, first of all, if you're listening to this, maybe do a self-assessment. Am I a whiner or a complainer? Because, as the saying goes, your attitude affects your altitude, right? Mm-hmm. And if you have a bad attitude, your altitude is going to be low. If you got a good attitude, you're going to be soaring up with the eagles.
Right. You
need to think about that going forward in 2020. And I just want to say to everyone, everyone's life sucks. Like none of us. Except unless you've stole 190 million in Bitcoin, all of us normal, regular people are struggling.
Right.
We got problems. We get like Stan, he's got sickness and all that. We all got bad things that are happening to us, but you can't dwell on that because it happens. The Bible says it rains on the just and the unjust alike. So it's going to happen sooner or later to all of us. So you better get your attitude right or you're going to bring everybody else down in your world. And I'm going to hide you on Facebook like I do all the people who complain. If you ever why didn't John ever like the stuff I put up on Facebook? Probably because you complained a lot and I hid you,
Yeah.
Just full disclosure there. So what about you? What about your 2020 predictions or 2019 wrap up?
I thought 2019 also was a very good year.
Yeah.
Podcast definitely grew.
Yeah, it did.
Didn't grow as much as I hoped it would.
No,
but we did do a live show. We had a successful live event.
Yeah.
And I look forward to, again, if this podcast is a thing come next December, I look forward to doing it again.
Yeah.
I look forward to having a whole year to plan it.
Okay.
And potentially having a venue and doing it on like an afternoon when people are actually off work and can come.
Yeah.
Not during,
Yeah, like in an evening. Or
something. Not during like a like work day at lunchtime,
Maybe indoors.
Exactly. So.
Yeah. And, we're building this podcast just brick by brick, listener by listener.
Yes.
So the more you can tell people about it, the better it's going to be. And they may hate it. And if they do hate it, I completely understand. Because when I listen to it, sometimes I'm just like, man, I am an idiot.
But hey, we didn't tell you to listen to it. We told you to download it.
That's true. Right. Yeah, just download it. You don't even have to listen to it.
Tell you like I tell my wife.
Yeah. And I will bring that up to everybody else. Just take your coworkers' phones and subscribe them to the podcast.
You're doing them a favor.
Yeah, right. You're helping them out.
Everybody wins. We win. You win. They win.
Yeah. So, but yeah, just continue to, if you feel so inclined, and I would hope that you would, to tell other people like, hey, I listen to these two rednecks from Alabama who mispronounce words and, can't even string together their cogent thoughts at times.
And sometimes record in a sewer.
Yeah, sometimes record in a sewer, sometimes in a closet. Who knows? And you should check it out, and they may like it, and then you guys got something to talk about. At the very least, you can make fun of us together, and feel like intellectually superior to both of us, which isn't hard to do.
Yeah.
So that's always great. Belittling other people is how I've made it so far in life. So
there's always going to be somebody better, but the upside is there's always going to be somebody worse off too.
Exactly. It goes back to the whole attitude thing,
You want to step out and make a prediction come November?
For the election?
The election.
Oh, I 100% think that if they don't remove Trump from office, he's going to get reelected.
Yeah.
I'll go on record and say that.
Yeah, I was thinking if the economy doesn't tank between now and November, I think he's look, to all my liberal friends, I'm not trying to upset you.
No,
I'm not trying to cause alarm, but I'm telling you, as an average Joe, I'm not a political analyst.
No.
But seeing as how bad they were wrong in 2016, I think that actually bodes pretty well for me. You're going to have to do better than Biden.
No,
he's still in the lead. You're going to have to get him out of the way. He's not going to do it. I'm sorry.
No. Right. And some people are saying he's running so he doesn't get all tangled up in this Ukraine thing. But I don't know. That could just be a conspiracy. I don't know.
Right.
But they're going to have to put somebody up. I honestly think if they would push Tulsi, my pineapple mommy, then she could win. She would appeal to enough voters to win. But they're not going to do that for some reason.
I mean, it looks like the DNC's holding her back.
Yeah, exactly.
And look what that got them in 2016 when they did that to Bernie.
Right, yeah. But if you put Biden up against Trump, he's going to get murdered in every debate.
I mean, he's sounding more and more every day like Grandpa Simpson.
Yes, exactly.
And some of y'all may be saying, well, at least he's not, grabbing peas. It's better than that. But in the society we live in, is it?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he said that and he still won the election.
Right.
And frankly, I mean, I try not to speak that way, but I'm a guy. I've hung around other guys, and there are a lot of guys who, unfortunately, they do talk that way.
Yeah.
They shouldn't, but they do.
Yeah.
And I don't think that stops enough people from voting for that.
Well, and I hear a lot of people on the Democrat side who shame Christians in their support of Trump. Maybe rightfully so, but I would say this is a result of 30 years of telling Christians to leave their morals at home when they go to the ballot box, and this is what you get. So they finally did, and now you have Trump. So,
and let's not forget that Trump was running against Hillary.
True.
And I would this is my advice to everybody. I'm not talking to any one political party or group of people. I'm talking to everyone. It is not enough to pretend that you're better online or on Twitter.
Yeah.
You have to be better.
Yeah.
And you have to believe better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's 100% true.
If you're going to call out the president for what he says on a hot mic, but then you're going to talk the exact same way with your buddies, that's not good enough. I'm sorry.
I agree. So anyways, that's Talking Politics with John and Tiny. My vote is still out there. I will probably vote for my dad again. Because he's the only honest man I know.
Who's running on the Libertarian ticket?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't have some wacko.
I'd vote for Gary Johnson again if he ran.
Would you? You got Trump elected, Tiny. Everybody blame Tiny.
We live in Alabama. Trump is getting those, 9 electoral votes. He's getting those votes no matter who I vote for. So I actually find it entertaining to go stand in line for 2 hours and then vote for some Yahoo nobody's even heard about.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write in Gonzo from the Muppets this year.
What if let's get everybody to just write in Earth Oddity podcast?
Yes.
What if we got enough votes so we showed up on some CNN report?
That would be awesome.
Like Trump wins Alabama, in second place is Earth Oddity podcast.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be pretty awesome. Maybe we could get him on as a guest after that.
Maybe.
I don't doubt he would ever come on with us.
No, he wouldn't.
No. I'd make fun of him so hard. I mean, I would make fun of everybody so hard. Yes. It's not really like I hate Trump or anything.
Yeah.
It'd be too easy.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't help myself.
You have been listening to Earth Oddity Podcast, and we thank you so much for listening to us, no matter where you get us, whether you get us from Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, CastBox, iHeartRadio, Spotify. We're on them all. If you would like to write into the show, you can reach us. You can reach us. We are earthoddity@planetmail.net. If you would like to tweet at us, we are @_earthoddity on Twitter.
That's right.
Do you like pictures? Because sometimes we post them.
That's right.
_Earth Oddity on Instagram.
That's right. DMs are open too. Anybody wants to DM anything, I'll talk to you. Yeah.
Yeah, just don't try to get us to pay for your webcam.
Just join up in the Illuminati. You remember all that? That guy wanted us to join the Illuminati.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
And if all of that fails, we have a very boring phone number. Hopefully we'll be changing in 2020. That's one of my resolutions, to get our number changed. But for now, what is it?
It's 662-493-2059. That's 662-493-2059.
We hope all of y'all have an excellent week, and we hope you had a great year in 2019, and we hope you have a great year in 2020. Mm-hmm. Earth Oddity for the Fringe Radio Network signing off.
Happy New Year. Love y'all.
This has been a very odd production. Thanks for listening.
Type IlluminatiBackwards.com into your web browser and see what happens.